Okay, I know it's been a little bit of time since the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal, but I got something to say. First of all, I will say that I am hoping to get one of these consoles on day one. I'm loving how the Switch 2 looks. I love my Switch, even though I don't play it enough, but I just wanted a more powerful Switch console, and this is everything that I need. But we do have to talk about the prices. I know it's been a very long discussion in the community, and I gotta give my opinion about this. A lot of people have been getting on Nintendo for the price of the console, but I thought 449 was pretty reasonable for a handheld console that you can use portable and you can use it on the dock. I think that made a lot of sense to be 449. It's a lot more powerful than the Switch 1, and I think that it made sense. I was very surprised people were against that, and I think they expected it to be 400 or less, but 449 I thought was pretty reasonable on their part. But the big issue is the games. That's honestly the biggest issue for me. And the Joy-Cons being $90 by themselves is pretty outrageous, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'll get into the games, but let me talk about the Joy-Con, because I have not seen a lot of people talk enough about this, that the new Joy-Cons don't even have the Hall effect analog sticks, so we're still going to have stick drift potentially. We don't know. There's a big chance that that still could be around, and you're asking for $90 for that. It's kind of insane. $80 for a controller. We've already been seeing that starting to increase. The accessories are really high, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about that. The camera seems to be fair, but everything else, little high. But anyway, got off track. Let's talk about the games. Games being $80 in this economy is a huge, huge risk. It hasn't even been 5 years since we've had $7 games when the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles came out, and now Nintendo's asking you to shell out $80 for Mario Kart. Now, granted, Mario Kart is probably one of the very few games that $80 you would get your value out of, for real. Mario Kart is very high replayability. You can play it with friends, you can play it solo, you can play it online. Mario Kart's a great game. It's a great franchise. So $80 for it, again, in the grand scheme of things, it makes sense, but at the same time, in the economy, Nintendo, this was a little too much to ask out of your consumers. And now, since Nintendo's going to do it, you can bet your ass that a lot of companies are going to try to do $80 games now. I don't know how that's going to fly. Nintendo might get away with it with Mario Kart and maybe Pokemon or maybe a new Zelda game. Some of their big franchises could be $80, and I could see that. They're not getting away with it for all these types of games. Like, if Ubisoft tries to make an $80 game, that's not going to fly. PlayStation maybe might get away with it, but I don't know. We're starting to go down a very dangerous trend in the industry. There's been a lot of negativity around in the last couple years anyway, and $80 games I think is way too much to ask. And Nintendo, I don't agree with where you're going. I understand it, but I think this is a mistake. Hopefully this is not a long-term thing and it is a case-by-case basis like they said, but we'll see.